Hi, and welcome back to our program Championing Resilience, a little our resilience fitness program. We're starting to reactivate and exercise this muscle that is our resilience. So first day we reconnected with this muscle, a little like you when you go to the gym after so long time, and the day after, all the body aches, and you suddenly figure out that they are part of your body where there are muscles, and you didn't know there were muscles there. You just noticed because they're paining. The beauty of re-exercising the muscle of resilience is that there's no pain. On the contrary, it's only gain. So let us continue this this pain-free, gainful program, fitness program. And let's see, after we have emptied this cup of unwanted emotion, but very legitimate emotions, all these emotions that have come up with this brutal crisis that has affected all the areas of our lives, how we have emptied that. Yesterday we worked on protecting this cup and really owning this cup and this free cup ready to be served with a beverage that we will choose with our flavor, our quantities, our colors, and definitely to transform this crisis in opportunity. So we have managed how to avoid interferences, influences that are not wanted, and negative emotions coming from others to fill up that cup of ours. So today we're starting with the filling of this cup. With what we're going to fill it? We're going to fill it with opportunities, with things that are going to support us to transform this crisis into a pack of opportunities. Look, we're speaking about a crisis. Yes, because this is something brutal that comes on us, and we activate in our companies, in our personal lives, look around us. Our institutions are, of course, in the mode of crisis management, and that's not going to change for some times, because this is really, they are in the crisis mode operating, no? But for us in our lives, of course, we've activated the crisis mode. And what I would like we start doing is we want to put this crisis in a way, it's at its place in the sense that it's an event in our lives. Okay? When the crisis is going to be finished, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, it will have been, yes, one crisis, but at the end, with the perspective, it's going to be an event in our lives, a really big and tough event, but it's going to be an event only. So I want already, even if we are in the middle of the crisis, as part of strengthening and activating this resilience, we're going to retake the lead, the steering wheel of our vehicle and of our lives and our businesses with the circumstances of this movement around us. Okay, so how do we do that? We do that through transforming the crisis in opportunity, looking at where are the opportunities that actually are inside the crisis. The question is, what are the opportunities that this crisis is bringing to your life, to your business, to your community? Okay, so we're going to focus on oneself, but keep the question for the different segments of your life. I would suggest do the exercise with yourself. Very important. Start always by yourself. Okay, this moment of confinement also is an excellent opportunity. It's not an excellent opportunity, is that we obliged to stand, sit and sleep with ourselves. Okay, and start to look at ourselves in the eyes, heart to heart, soul to soul. We can't escape like we used to do through being so busy. I read in a book of His Holiness Dalai Lama many years back. I remember he was mentioning of Westerners this habit that we have to create busyness, no? B-U-S-Y-ness. Instead of business, we're the kings and the queens of busyness. So that is constant movement and busyness. Yeah, we don't have time. And now we have suddenly the time. And that's the beauty of what is happening here. Don't you find it's quite interesting? I was thinking of that when preparing the video. Say, wow, you know, the confinement by definition is a restriction of freedom. Freedom of movement, freedom of so many things. No? Well, it's of course it's justified and it's to save lives, everything. So it's not a judgment. It's just a fact. It's a restriction of freedom for a higher good. Perfect. But it's a restriction of freedom. And haven't you found that in all these days that you've been confined, you actually took a lot of liberties. You didn't allow yourself for so long. There's a part of freedom in the confinement. So I want you write that down. You write all the opportunities that you have experienced. What's this freedom? So these little things that you did, these medium things, these big things, that you took opportunities of being confined to do, to experience, to live, to enjoy. Yeah? Poof, a full list of that. So you do one with yourself, your own list, and do one with the family, do one with your team, do one also with your team for the company. Okay, that's important. I have your team working on themselves, so doing their own list, and then you debrief with them, because people are alone in their homes. I mean, alone with their families, but far from the team. Okay, so it's important that we use, and this crisis is an amazing moment. I hope you're already experiencing it, to create a bigger bond in the team. Now that's what we work on during the crisis. Crisis is an opportunity. You have seen how and I hear that from everyone, how we strengthen the connection with our people, with our families, with everyone, since we are confined, since we are in crisis mode, since we are faced with death, since we have faced with limitations, since we have faced with the obligation to appreciate, to be grateful for all the abundance we had and we still have, but we never appreciate it. Okay, so you do this exercise. So you ask the team to do their personal list, and then you do a nice debriefing. So it's an opportunity to know each other a little better, to inspire each other, and to support each other. If someone feel a little stuck in finding opportunities and positive things to do and everything in this context, and you do a list with the team for the companies. What are for the business? What are the opportunities? It's a great moment where you're going to have really your team getting involved in wanting the company to stand back and to bounce back and bounce forward. I remember it was one of the directors of civil protection in the Philippines last year in a disaster management conference, where I was giving a talk. And I remember this woman was, unfortunately I don't remember her name, but she was so inspiring, and she said, resilience. Of course, she was speaking resilience in the context of crisis. It was here mainly natural disasters, but it applies to that. And actually today she would probably use the same expression, because this is the crisis they are involved in, also the civil protection, very actively. And she was saying, resilience for me is not bounce back, it's bounce forward. Okay, so what we're working now is strengthening this resilience to get ready for what is next, the next challenges. And we're not only to stand back on our feet, but we're going to walk, we're going to run, we're going to fly. Okay, that's what we want. So first exercise I'm going to ask you to do is a list of all what you have experienced. Okay, then second column on the side is you're going to write all the opportunities that you want to take advantage of. All the things you say, oh my God, first time I have the time to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yesterday evening, I was coaching an amazing lady from, living in Colombia. And we were working on that, on reactivating her resilience, her positivity, her ability to transform this crisis in an event, in an opportunity in her life, and in her vision for her life. And was amazing when suddenly, you know, we, like what we did yesterday and the day before, we release what we don't want, we release the anxieties, and we allow ourselves to see we get into action. Now action has so much power. Now we start to say, I want to do that, I want to do that. And when we allow, we have this cup that is emptied of all these overflowing emotions. Oof, you'll see what comes up. And I mean, give me goosebumps to say it was amazing to feel, oh, I'm going to do that and this and this, and dreams that you had for so many years. Now you have the time, you have the space. That feels good. So get into the excitement, enjoy this list writing, and you don't worry if you're not able to finally, frankly say, which excitement. I mean, I don't see any opportunities and you feel down, and even if you've done the, I would invite you to redo the exercise of day 2, this emptying, releasing, because maybe you've not released everything, or maybe you've not seen the video of day 2. Please do it, because you want to be in this state where you want to fill up the cup. And still, if you don't see it, can happen, okay? No problem. It will come. Just start the list. Push yourself a little more. Think, oh, maybe it's the opportunity to get out of my comfort zone. Maybe it's the opportunity to this, to simple things. Start with simple things. You have already experienced simple things, okay? So that's the first part of the exercise. I would say it's a little the material wing of it. And then the second part is a little more spiritual, or more connecting with your essence. When I have something big, a little violent or abrupt, now that's coming into my life, something that I was not expecting, I like to ask this question. So depending on what is the event and how it affects me, I of course first do what we did in day 2 and day 3, but especially day 2, like releasing, emptying the cup. And then I ask, so depending on your belief system, or what you relate to as a higher part of yourself, what would you say can be God, the universe, Mother Earth, the cosmos, or your higher self, higher soul, whatever you name it. But this part that is of another dimension that just you hear, ask the question, what do you want me to do with it? How do you want me to use this that is here in my life, this crisis, this event, this news, this loss, this, how do you want me, what do you want me to do out of it or to do with it? And listen to the answer. So how do you listen to the answer to that? I mean, in your prayer, ask the question before, during, or after your prayer, your meditation, or if you don't do any of that, during your moment, you need to take silence. So just take this silence with yourself, your cup of coffee, at your window, because the good thing is that there's so much silence now all around us. So just take this moment of silence and listen. And it's okay if it's not coming, if you don't have a full answer coming like a roof, like someone opens a book. It's also a question of practice, this exercise. So you just ask every day without getting upset or give me the answer. Okay, just ask the question. And if you don't receive the answer like a packed full sentence, you will see life will bring you the little things, the people around you to take you to the answer. And in few days, hours, minutes, weeks, months, you'll find, not months, it will come. It's here. Actually, the answer, you already have it maybe, but you've not processed it. So just ask yourself this question. And this would be like the spiritual wing. So like a bird, we need material and spiritual. So let's go and fly. I look forward to see you tomorrow.